All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we're going to talk about Terence Crawford in a recent interview with The Zone, talking about the Errol Spence Jr. fight and updating where it is. And again, says they are trying to work out the business side. And you know what that means. Let's talk about that and what he says will happen if the Errol Spence Jr. fight does not happen. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. We're in the 147-pound weight division for this fight. Terence Crawford has once again let everybody know, and this time even more directly than the past, what the issue is with getting this fight done with Errol Spence Jr., confirming that the fight is not done and what it is, and also what he'll do if the fight with Errol does not take place. Now, before I get into that though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for checking us out. We have really good conversations that go on pretty much every day in the live stream and in the in video format like this video. So make sure you guys hit the subscribe button and hit that bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. If you're a longtime subscriber supporter, thank you so much for your continued support for the channel as we continue to chop it up about this boxing. And here we are in the hottest topic in boxing, as usual. It is Terence Crawford versus Errol Spence Jr. Depending on who you think the man is, Errol Spence Jr., Terence Crawford versus Errol, or Errol versus Terence, however you want to announce that. Terence just recently gives an interview to The Zone Boxing and again illustrates what the issue is with the fight. Now, I had done a video maybe a week ago and I said, look, Terence is telling you what the issue was with the fight because he says, look, we're still trying to figure it out. So when he said we're still trying to figure some things out, if you listen to what everybody else said about the fight, you knew what that was. You know it is about Terence Crawford's money. Steven Espinoza said that they were trying to make the fight, that there was a good chance of making the fight, but somebody wanted to get paid Mayweather type of money. Now Steven Espinoza is, by the way, is the president of Showtime. He's the guy who controls the budget for the fights that are put on Showtime. And this fight most likely would be a Showtime fight because that's where Errol Spence Jr. fought his last fight. There hasn't been a lot of word about whether or not the PBC on Fox is going to even have fights this year. We're getting real late in the year and haven't heard any major fights announced for that network. Terence, for his part of it, is no longer with Top Rank, and Bob Arum said he doesn't have anything to do with it. We know Matchroom doesn't have anything to do with it. So more than likely, whatever guaranteed money is coming out of that related to the network that it will be on is going to be on Showtime. So Steven Espinoza said, look, people are asking for big money. We're not going to be paying gigantic money for the fight because the money's not there, right? Now, Terence Crawford is saying now very, very directly that we've got to figure out the business side of this. Now, what is the business side of it? The business side of it is the money, and it is the money without a doubt. Now, the other thing that I noticed about the interview with Terence Crawford is this is the second time Terence Crawford has used the word hopefully. Now, before, when he was early on and when this negotiation and stuff started pretty much, which was right after Errol Spence Jr. had beaten Yordenis Ugas and Errol said that he wanted the fight, Terence Crawford used the phrase, I'm 100% confident that this fight is going to happen. Now, to go from 100% confident that the fight is going to happen to hopefully the fight is going to happen is most definitely a change in verbiage. And now it may be just, that Terence Crawford just really likes to use the word hopefully, right? But he's being a lot less certain about it than he was before. And obviously that is because of the business side of things. What type of business side of things could it be? Can it be Is it the venue that the fight's going to be in? I don't believe it's that, because Errol Spence Jr. said he would fight wherever. It doesn't matter to him whether he fights in Dallas or whether he fights in Vegas. He said they're both going to have to get in the ring, so it really doesn't make it too much of a difference, right? So I think more than likely it's still Terence Crawford trying to get probably more guaranteed money in order to make that fight, because Terence is used to where his last contracts were, and his recent fights have been, most of the fights in his career have been with Top Rank, and he has been getting high guarantees to walk in the ring. And that is a big shift for somebody to go from a model like Top Rank to go to a model like the PBC, where the PBC has lower guarantees, lower monetary guarantees, but bigger pay on the back end, where Top Rank is guarantees, big guarantees or larger guarantees, but they don't really get any back end money because a lot of those fights are not on pay-per-view. Top Rank has not really been in the pay-per-view business with the exception of Terence Crawford in several years. Terence Crawford and Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury, that's about it. So Terence Crawford, however, if you look at the lawsuit that is going on between him and Top Rank, you know that he gets paid somewhere between $4 and $6 million guaranteed for each fight. He's going to want a lot more money for that. And so I'm sure that is what, the business side of it is. I doubt that it's around the other aspects like rematch clauses and things like that. I doubt very much that that's going to be a big hang up, because I don't think either guy is going to be in a rush to do have a rematch clause in that. Errol's not been the type of dude that I know of that is asked for or agreed to rematch clauses, or Terence Crawford either. Now, one of the interesting things about the interview was that Terence Crawford said, look, man, I don't think power is going to have anything to do with the outcome of this fight. That was the part that I really thought was interesting. He talked about the trainers and was like, the big difference in the fight are going to be the trainers. That's going to be a lot of, and making the adjustments and game planning for him. And, he's going to have a game plan for Errol Spence Jr. And he said also that, but as far as like whether he has bigger power or Terence Crawford or Errol has big power, he said like he doesn't think that really is going to be the big thing in the fight. The big thing is going to be how they execute their game plans when they get in the ring. So then he also talked about how, if the fight doesn't take place and that fight is available with Jermell Charlo, that he wants to move up to 154 pounds and fight Jermell Charlo if that fight doesn't go right, if for some reason he's not able to get the Errol Spence Jr. fight. Now, I want to be very clear that I do not think that Terence Crawford is trying to duck Errol by being difficult in the negotiations, and that, he's going to go to try to get Jermell Charlo, which in some line of reasoning could be an easier fight for him. I don't see how that is, but it is what it is. I don't think that's the case. I really do. Just from everything I've seen and heard, I just have a suspicion that the real thing is how much money Terence Crawford is guaranteed for that fight versus how much money they wanted and how much money they think they can get on the back end of the fight, and Terence Crawford trying to get to that. However, if what Tim Smith had to say, which was, look, this money that we're going to offer for this fight is going to be an insult to him, I don't know how much leeway or wiggle room they really are going to have for that. At the end of the day, Terence is just going to have to accept probably less than he wants to in order to make this fight happen. And I certainly hope he does, because man, this is the best fight that could be made in boxing. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.